If you want to know what powerful people are planning, just listen. Last week, leaders of the central banks of the United States, Europe, Japan, and the UK made statements that could affect the global financial system. Welcome back to the Finance Homefront with me, Bev. And in today's video, we'll summarize what these people said and why it matters. But before anything else, take a moment to hit that like button. Your likes and subscriptions go a long way in supporting our channel and help us create content tailored just for you. Done? Fantastic. Let's go. The discussion took place in Portugal at the European Central Bank's Forum on Central Banking. The moderator set the stage by mentioning that the Federal Reserve, European Central Bank, or ECB, and Bank of England, or BOE, have been raising interest rates to control inflation, while the Bank of Japan, or BOJ, is considering it. Sarah Eisen from CNBC asked how much higher interest rates need to go to bring down inflation. Christine Lagarde from the ECB mentioned they would be data-dependent, leaving room for more hikes. Andrew Bailey from the BOE explained they raised rates due to a strong economy. But Sarah questioned if people were upset about it, considering the impact on adjustable-rate mortgages. Jerome Powell from the Fed faced questions about the recent pause in rate hikes. Sarah asked, why not raise rates right away? And Jerome explained they want to wait and see for lag effects. The discussion shifted to Japan, where Kazuo Oreda from the BOJ faced questions about inflation and the weak yen. Sarah questioned him about the BOJ monitoring the yen for intervention, referring to past actions to protect its value. In the second round, Christine Lagarde was asked about the possibility of an ECB pause. She claimed they weren't considering it yet. Andrew Bailey discussed reasons for high inflation in the UK, avoiding blaming Brexit directly. Jerome Powell admitted surprise that the labor market hadn't softened yet, indicating a need for high rates. Sarah questioned all central bankers about whether they talk among themselves, but they avoided answering. Sarah continued her relentless questioning spree, shaking up the stage with her fourth round of inquiries in the looming topic of recession. She began by questioning Jerome about rising unemployment and its connection to a recession. Despite Jerome's attempt to downplay the correlation, Sarah pointed out the obvious. Rising unemployment often signals a recession. Turning her attention to Christine, Sarah asked if Europe is currently in a recession. Despite recent data confirming a technical recession in Europe, Christine denied it, characterizing the economy as merely stagnant. Sarah continued to press, questioning Christine about the possibility of a recession in the Eurozone. Christine, deep in denial, stated that while it's a possible risk, their base case doesn't include a recession. Undeterred, Sarah redirected her inquiry to Andrew, questioning him about the likelihood of a recession in the UK. Andrew mentioned that the BOE's prediction, but cited a milder winter in Europe as a reason the predicted recession hadn't materialized. Sarah then turned to Kazuo, asking about the state of the Japanese economy. While Kazuo painted a positive picture, he added a cautionary note, suggesting potential issues if problems arise in the US or EU. Sarah revisited her earlier question about coordination among central banks. Andrew finally provided an answer, stating that while they don't coordinate policy, they do discuss it due to common challenges. Sarah then threw a curveball at Kazuo, asking if he thought other central bankers were raising interest rates too much. In a surprising response, Kazuo said no, deviating from the denial theme. Sarah probed Jerome about US interest rates, and despite his denial of excessive hikes, he acknowledged the risk of keeping rates too low. She seized the opportunity for a fifth critical question, asking if central banks would alter the 2% inflation target due to persistent inflation caused by deglobalization and other factors. The panelists unanimously rejected the idea, recognizing the severe credibility damage such a change would entail. Sensing Jerome's ease, Sarah switched gears, questioning how the pandemic affected the U.S. economy. Jerome stumbled, especially when discussing commercial real estate. Sarah pressed him on concerns in the sector, receiving an unconvincing response. Sarah then initiated her sixth round, inquiring how long it takes for interest rates to impact the economy. Despite the panelists' economic expertise, none provided a clear answer. Shifting her focus to market conditions, Sarah highlighted the inconsistency between rate hikes and market rallies. She questioned the panelists' attention to market movements. Christine and Andrew evaded the question, but Sarah exposed Jerome's contradictions, referencing his past comments suggesting a desire for market declines. In her seventh wave, Sarah delved into geopolitics. Christine disclosed concerns about geopolitical risks affecting inflation and rates. Sarah questioned Christine about the ECB's approach to next winter, given prior energy crisis concerns. Christine's response, expressing hope for a milder winter, raised concerns, especially with Germany shutting down its nuclear reactors. Sarah addressed food inflation with Andrew, who claimed discussions with food producers indicated an unexpected decrease. She then turned to Kazuo, exploring the impact of tensions in the Taiwan Strait. Kazuo acknowledged the relocation of capital from China to Japan due to uncertainties, but cautioned about potential long-term issues. Sarah turned the spotlight on the tense relationship between the US and China, seeking insights from the panelists. When Jerome claimed it's not the Fed's job to think about it, Sarah turned to Christine, emphasizing China's weakening economy and its impact on the EU. Christine's response defended China, linking the EU's green energy transition to its reliance on Chinese-made solar panels and wind turbines. Seizing the irony, Sarah questioned the panelists about a contingency plan in case China invades Taiwan. While Jerome and Andrew gave evasive responses, Christine stayed silent, possibly due to sensitive geopolitical concerns. Sarah then grilled Christine about the European banking system's health. Christine's response hinted that banks under their supervision were in good shape, leaving uncertainties about others, notably omitting Switzerland's situation due to Credit Suisse's recent troubles. Andrew's response suggested concerns about the effectiveness of crisis handling processes, raising questions about the speed of bank runs. Sarah further questioned Jerome, but he evaded the issue, emphasizing the need for more regulation for medium-sized banks. The discussion intensified when Sarah asked Kazuo about Japan's banking system. Kazuo warned that if the Bank of Japan normalized its monetary policy, Japanese banks might face similar issues to the US banking crisis in March. He emphasized the importance of stress tests before considering interest rate hikes. Transitioning to fiscal policy, Sarah questioned the panelists about the impact of government spending on fighting inflation. Christine acknowledged advising European governments to curb spending, while Andrew and Jerome avoided endorsing government intervention. Sarah shifted to central bank balance sheets, asking Kazuo about Japan's plans. Andrew proudly stated the Bank of England was selling off its balance sheet, while Christine avoided the topic, fearing it might increase interest rates in weaker European countries. Jerome acknowledged the Fed's balance sheet runoff, claiming it was working as intended. Notably, he suggested the possibility of accelerating the runoff under specific circumstances. Eventually, Sarah posed softer questions, asking the panelists about their sources of optimism. Christine and Andrew mentioned digital currency proposals, while Jerome shared the Fed's interest in AI. Kazuo threw a curveball, hinting at the possibility of issuing new physical currency. The video concluded with Sarah asking the panelists about future inflation predictions. Christine estimated around 3% in the EU. Jerome anticipated a delay in reaching 2% in the US, and Kazuo hinted at fluctuating inflation in Japan. The pivotal moment came from Kazuo's remarks about the Bank of Japan potentially raising interest rates, which could have significant repercussions on the global financial system. Weston Nakamura, a macro analyst, highlighted the dependence of Western central banks on the Bank of Japan to maintain low interest rates, and any deviation could lead to capital flight, causing economic chaos. Should central banks coordinate their policies internationally to ensure stability, Or is it more important for each country to act independently? Go ahead and leave your comments down below. Feel free to ask questions as well. If you found this video interesting, don't forget to hit the like button to show your support. If you want more cool content about crypto and finance topics, make sure to subscribe and ring the notification bell. Thanks to all of you for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.